For this case, you will have 20 minutes to make your presentation in front of the judges. If your presentation lasts under 18 minutes, you'll receive a 1-point penalty for every 30 seconds. If your presentation lasts under 15 minutes, your team will receive the score of 0 at the general ranking for this case. If after 20 minutes you have not completed the presentation, you'll be stopped and move on to the question period. At the end of the presentation, the judges will have 5 minutes to ask their questions. I remind the jury that it is mandatory to ask a minimum of 1 question during this period. If after 5 minutes you have not finished answering the question, you will be stopped. Throughout the presentation, I will indicate the remaining time using cardboards at 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and 30 seconds. I'll also make a countdown using my fingers for the last 10 seconds. I remind you that it is prohibited to say the name of your university, and if you do, you will receive a penalty. I'll also remind the public that it is prohibited to use any electronic device during the presentation, and that the public must stay quiet until the end of the question period. Before we begin, I would ask the room to turn off their cell phones and put them on mute so that we don't interrupt the presentation. I will now ask the judges to present themselves, and after you will be free to start the presentation.
Hi, I'm Simon, Digital Marketing Advisor at Finwest.
Hi, I'm Vanessa from Amelie, and I'm Marketing Advisor at Finwest.
Hi, I'm Jean-François Lacroix, Operation Manager at Finance Hi, José Lachance, HR Director for VF Canada.
Hi, Charles-Olivier Tremblay, Marketing Manager at L'Oréal.
Hi, Jessica Drolet. I'm Brand Manager at Procter & Gamble.
Donc, peu importe où nous sommes, dans toutes les salles, il y a des fenêtres, à part peut-être dans celle-ci, bien sûr. Mais les fenêtres sont une partie intégrante de nos édifices et pourtant, on remarque rarement où, quelles entreprises les font. Et pour vous, ça se pose d'être un défi de taille. Comment se faire remarquer dans un marché qui peut être peu différencié par moment? Donc, je m'appelle Charles et voici les collègues Elif et Sarai. Nous sommes justement là pour répondre à cette question. Donc, pour notre agenda, nous avons décidé de prendre une approche similaire à un de vos produits vedettes, les fenêtres. Alors, commençons avec une certaine analyse pour formuler une recommandation claire qui est taillée à vos besoins. Ensuite, nous allons mettre en œuvre cette stratégie à travers une mise en œuvre pour ensuite vous présenter un budget par rapport à cela. Donc, le problème, c'est que Fenplace et ses acquisitions, qui ont été nombreuses dans les dernières années d'ailleurs, ont de la difficulté à solidifier leur image de marque et les attributs de marque. Comme je l'ai mentionné, il y a peu de différenciation. Puis ce qu'on veut éviter, nos problèmes secondaires, c'est une cannibalisation vers le bas. Donc, justement, si on veut se différencier, on veut éviter que les consommateurs qui utilisaient Fenplace, un produit plus de haute qualité auparavant, décident d'aller pour un produit moins cher qui, évidemment, fait des revenus plus faibles pour l'entreprise au niveau du général. Aussi, il y a eu de la difficulté au niveau de la justification de la qualité. Comme il n'y a pas beaucoup de connaissances nécessairement à propos des produits de luxe dans ce marché-ci, c'est difficile pour Fenplace de justifier son prix plus élevé et ainsi attirer des consommateurs qui seraient peut-être prêts à payer ce prix plus élevé-là s'ils savaient tous les bienfaits et les attributs des produits. De plus, c'est ça justement, il y a une confusion pour le consommateur avec un certain revenu, avec certains besoins. Il y a de la difficulté à s'orienter dans un marché qui est quand même très compétitif, mais qui n'a pas nécessairement l'information pour savoir où aller dans ce marché-là. Donc, notre mandat, en conséquence de ces problèmes secondaires, ce problème principal, c'est de développer des stratégies innovatives et excitantes pour différencier Fenplace et ses acquisitions d'un marché où la compétition est féroce. Donc, pour mesurer l'atteinte d'avoir réglé ces problèmes et l'atteinte de notre mandat, on vous propose 3 indicateurs clés de performance qui vont nous suivre tout au long de notre stratégie. Donc, premièrement, on veut réduire la cannibalisation vers le bas, donc d'aller pour un produit moins cher après avoir essayé Fenplace, par exemple, de 30%. On veut augmenter la reconnaissance de marque de Fenplace et de ses acquisitions à travers la stratégie de 35%. Et on veut aussi augmenter le trafic sur les sites web. On a un grand virage numérique dans toutes les industries en ce moment et on veut faire la même chose pour Fenplace avec une augmentation du trafic de 15%. Donc maintenant, l'analyse.
So let's look at the trends first of all. We went through all the market research you gave us, and there was a couple of really big things that we noticed. The first thing is that younger consumers, 25 to 45 age range, they tend to replace their windows more frequently than the older people. And then next, people using Fenpost tend to stick with, Fenplast. People using Fenplast already, they tend to keep using Fenplast because that's when they realize, hey, this is the type of quality that I do want. Next thing is that people who use Fenplast are also willing to pay for the higher quality because, like I said, they realize that this is what they really needed. And browsing online, TV, and social media are the most common ways for consumers to receive the data. People who don't buy from Fenplast tend to get a third party to install it, so that's a great place to target. Fenplast windows are the most popular out of your product services in your market research, but people who buy windows also tend to buy doors. So the windows are kind of the entry point, then they also get the doors when they see the quality is there. And lastly, the ads put out are, in this industry in general, are not super exciting. Generally, they're more informative than exciting. People want to see ads that really resonate with them. Let's look at the consumer analysis now. So there's 3 different personas we've built. There's Carl, the contractor, Henry, the home buyer, and then there's experienced Eric. So these are based on the 3 age categories we have. So Carl, the contractor, obviously it varies because this is just B2B sales. But then Henry, the home buyer, is the 28 to 45 age range. These are people who are first starting to get their homes and first starting to learn how to maintain their homes. And there's experienced Eric, who's 55 plus. The price sensitivity ranges differently across them, obviously. Really, the main thing here to note is that the contractors value the price, volume, durability, just stuff that really helps the bottom line because they're businesses first and foremost. For the first-time homebuyers, Henry, the home buyer, they like simplicity and they like quality. They want the buying process to be as easy as possible, and they want a fair price. They want to feel like they weren't cheated. And for the experienced Eric, they like quality and durability because they're seasoned. They know what they want. They know what they need. All this to say, we think that the best target here is Henry, the home buyer. Now, this is 30% of the market, but these people will also grow up to become the experienced Erics. So this is the group that has the most potential overall. And then also, we're going to split this into two different categories as well, because obviously there's many different areas to live in everywhere. So the first division is condo buyer, then the next is the home buyer. So location is between the city and suburbs and countryside. And then people with condos generally don't have families. Some do, of course, but generally no. And then people who buy homes tend to have families. And then also their values are, for people with condos, are proximity and simplicity of their lifestyle. And people that have homes, they like the calmness, they like the peaceful atmosphere, they like to spend time with their family, that kind of thing. Next, let's look at the competitor analysis. So there's quite a few competitors, but there's three main competitors that we found were really the biggest threats, if a threat at all. And we decided to section this off by looking at what are the most important values to each of these businesses. So for Finplast, the real key thing that differentiates you is you have extremely high quality products, and all your consumers know this, you know this. You're energy efficient, you strive to be energy efficient, and that really shows off in the quality. And then you're also very customer oriented. For example, you have the augmented reality where you have employees go out to homes and take pictures and put the windows on the pictures to show them this is how your home can look. And then for Finite Collegenes, the main thing really is that there's a fairly wide variety of products compared to the competitors. So you have the high and low price options with different options even within that. And then the main three competitors here are Atis Group, Porte et Fenêtre Verdun, and Lorenda. So for Atis Group, they have a very wide reach. They're the biggest competitor Canada-wide. They have a wide reach, and that's really their main strong suit. The key thing here is to not let people go to their store. You want to stop them at your website or have them visit your store instead. For Porte et Fenêtre Verdun, they're very good at kitchen and bathroom renovation, and they're good at custom-made products. And then for Lorendo, they're very energy efficient, they're very home design oriented. We'll look more into this later on in more of the analysis as well.
Donc maintenant, ce qu'on vous propose, c'est une analyse FFE-MO, qui est une variante de l'analyse FFOM, mais qui nous permet de distinguer des Eureka dans le marché. C'est des choses excitantes dans l'environnement de l'entreprise qui vont justement vous permettre de bâtir ces opportunités d'affaires. Donc pour les forces, en général, on a une bonne réputation, on a des normes de qualité et de service élevées avec vos programmes de formation, les taux de satisfaction des clients qui sont extrêmement hauts. Et ça nous permet d'avoir un service complet pour simplifier la vie du client. Vous avez une grande attention au client, puis ça, c'est un impact, quelque chose de très important. Par contre, ce qu'on voit au niveau des faiblesses, puis c'est aussi au niveau de l'industrie au complet, mais c'est quelque chose qu'on va essayer de changer dans notre stratégie, c'est que la différenciation au niveau des fenêtres surtout, est surtout financière. Donc, on a l'entrée, le niveau d'entrée, après ça, on a le moyen de gamme et le haut de gamme. Mais ce qu'on réalise, c'est que les acheteurs de condos, les acheteurs de maisons ont des besoins différents. Donc, on veut segmenter selon le style de vie plutôt que selon les moyens financiers. Et justement, les acheteurs sont plus sensibles au prix dû au manque d'informations parce qu'on ne peut pas distinguer justement un produit de haute qualité parmi un produit meilleur marché qui est moins de haute qualité. Donc, les Eureka, les choses excitantes, c'est qu'on a remarqué que les consommateurs vivant dans différents milieux urbains réagissent différemment aux publicités. Donc, si on a une publicité plus urbaine, on va aller chercher les amateurs de condos, les propriétaires de condos, alors que si on a une publicité qui nous parle plus de vues, on va pouvoir aller chercher plus des propriétaires de maisons. Et aussi, ce qu'on a remarqué, c'est qu'une publicité excitante peut faciliter l'éducation des consommateurs. Puis on l'a vu avec votre campagne, avec le festival de musique, où on avait des bébés qui dormaient. Ça a réanimé l'attention. Et certains consommateurs ont réalisé c'est quelque chose d'important pour moi d'avoir des fenêtres insonorisées, alors qu'ils ne savaient peut-être pas avant. Donc, on éduque à travers des publicités excitantes et attirantes. Par contre, les menaces, encore une fois, c'est la cannibalisation des marques existantes et que l'achat des fenêtres veut pas, il y a peu de monde qui sont très excités d'aller magasiner des fenêtres. Donc la question, c'est comment on va rendre ça excitant, et c'est justement ce qu'on va vous proposer dans notre stratégie. Donc parmi cette analyse-là, on a trouvé 3 opportunités d'affaires. Les 2 qu'on va cibler, c'est de promouvoir selon le style de vie et d'utiliser le marketing expérientiel pour éduquer les consommateurs. Donc maintenant, une fois l'analyse terminée, nous sommes prêts à vous dire qu'avec FenPlast, on a une fenêtre claire vers le monde. In English, with FenPlast, we have a clear window to the world. Donc, notre marché cible, ça va être justement les nouveaux acheteurs de maisons, mais on l'a encore segmenté en 2. Donc, pour Fenêtre la jeunesse, on va aller chercher le milieu plus urbain, et avec FenPlast, on va aller chercher le milieu plus rural. Donc, on va vous expliquer ça plus en détail par la suite. Donc, pour le positionnement de FenPlast, c'est un produit de qualité supérieure qui va mettre en valeur l'aspect justement rural et de la nature avec les vues notamment. Et avec la jeunesse, c'est qu'on offre un rapport qualité-prix exceptionnel avec des atouts nécessaires pour toute personne qui s'achète un condo dans le milieu urbain.
So when we were thinking of the strategy, we wanted to do something creative. We wanted to do something out of the box. However, our strategy ended up being inside a box. The idea is to use the glass to our benefit. One of the biggest things, especially with the city vibe, is the noise. You're constantly hearing noise, whether it's fire trucks, police trucks. You want to silence it. But the amazing thing about your windows is that the quietness. You can have a rock concert while babies are sleeping. Why not put that to the test? We wanted to create almost something that's soundproof, light-proof, and fits the aesthetic. So that's why we had the idea of having glass booths in the city. Take a moment of silence in the city of sound. Take a moment of silence to breathe, to relax, because that's what your windows bring to people. The moment of being able to step at home, not hear the noise of the outside world, and spend time with their family, but also have a relaxed evening. We want to be doing it in clubs. It'd be pretty cool, almost like guerrilla marketing, have it in clubs, on busy side streets, but also to show your value. You're not here to tell them what you have, but rather show them what you have. The next one's a bit different, light-proof. See, break me and win $100. Your glasses are very resistant. Why not show that? Showing it through putting it on near a bus station, put a $100 bill, put it on the glass of your company, and ask them to break it. It just shows how resilient your glass is. If it can survive someone hitting with it, then it must be very good, especially when people have children. They worry constantly about their children hanging around windows, especially in condo areas. The next one is fits the aesthetic. Vogue released an article 2 months ago about something called having fashion glass. Fashion glass allows Instagrammers to be able to take pictures of the city without the reflection. That's something your glasses currently have, and that allows people to be able to take clear pictures of the world. Now, in terms of website improvement,
So there's 2 main areas we want to improve the website. We want to add some sort of VR experience, and then we also want to change the layout of how you position your products. So with the VR experience, you already have your augmented reality where you have employees take pictures of houses, and then you add the windows onto it. So how about going 1 step further? So there's many companies out there who take 3D scans for a fairly cheap price. You can get it for as cheap as $2 a square foot, pretty good price. And so you find 4 main types of houses, so bungalows, 2-story houses, semi-detached, and condos. You take a scan of the perimeter and the inside, and then you let consumers see how this house would look without your windows, and then also with your windows, from the inside and the outside, so they can see really how much of an improvement your windows make aesthetically. And this will help cut down the need to go to the store a lot of the time, because our target market that we've chosen actually, they tend to be very busy people, both married couples working, just young people working. They don't have the time to always go to the store when the store hours are open. And then the next thing is the website improvement. So really, the main thing we want to do is leverage Fenêtre la Jeunesse's wide variety of products you offer. So here's an example of something you can put on your website. So you'll have the Fenêtre la Jeunesse Saint Laurent and Autre products on the left side here. And then on the right side, you can have some competitor prices. It doesn't have to be an actual competitor. You can just say, this is one of our competitors, this is generally what their prices are. And then you can do kind of like when you go to like a tech company's website, they have like, hey, we offer all these features if you go for this package. And then you show off all the features, what you have and what your competitors don't have. And then at the end, you have the price. And then there's one fact we noticed, and one thing that was pretty prevalent in your market research. So windows do need to be replaced usually between 15 to 20 years. So what could be interesting is taking this one step further and saying, here's the effective cost of this window per year by the time you replace it. So let's say, for example, Fenêtre La Jeunesse, your windows last 10 more years longer. You're technically paying less per year for windows. So that's a great way to market as well.
So getting up to, I can go more into detail in the Q&A, but having for a FLEM class is important, but they're an older audience. Older audience when peace and quiet. But we noticed in our research that a lot of older adults tend to connect more with nature as they get older. But we want to do promotion based on that, connect with nature. Like I said before, thinking inside the box is important. But with nature, having different aspects. So for Earth, we'd be focusing on having a glass, but soundproof from the inside out. So the animals can't hear you. So we'd be doing it in Park Omega. So people can show you the value that animals themselves can't even hear you through the glass. And having that experience to connect with nature at a closer distance is very important, especially in today's society, which is focused very heavily on environmental. The next one is water. Aquarium. It's very important because your glasses are also very watertight. You've said that it's so watertight that you could literally float a boat in it. And that's very important because that shows you're proving how watertight it is. Having it in an aquarium museum, for example, in the Montreal Aquarium, it's very important to have it there. The last one is windproof. A glass ceiling or a glass floor on the Mont Royal, showing the strength of your glass, but also showing people more of the world, more aspects of Montreal. That's not there. You're leading the edge towards showing more of the world.
Donc, pour les différents chemins pour rejoindre les consommateurs, mes collègues l'ont mentionné beaucoup. Ce qu'on va faire, c'est les médias sociaux. En fait, le vidéo et l'image sont très à prioriser dans ce cas-ci, étant donné que pour des nouveaux acheteurs, ils vont beaucoup regarder les décorations sur Pinterest notamment. Et ça, on veut utiliser ce média social-là qui est peut-être un peu oublié parfois. Aussi, on va utiliser du payant sur Facebook et YouTube, justement pour montrer ces expériences-là qu'on fait avec la nature, avec l'eau, avec le son dans la ville, pour justement intéresser le consommateur et l'amener sur notre site web. Et là, sur notre site web, on voit des comparaisons, des détails un petit peu plus techniques et un appel à l'action, que ce soit pour un rendez-vous, pour consulter un modèle de maison. Et finalement, ce qu'on veut aussi toucher, c'est les médias traditionnels. On va avoir notre placement de produits dans des émissions de design et de rénovation. On pense qu'il y a encore beaucoup de gens qui regardent la télé, surtout des émissions de design quand c'est le temps de s'acheter une maison ou de faire des rénovations. Et justement, ce placement de produits-là est plus discret, plus efficace dans ce cas-ci.
In terms of the timeline, we divided it into three main sections, which was city, urban, and finally technology. As you can see, the triangle represents where we stop and pause and see if the strategy is really working. And the star is when we hit our goal. We want to constantly keep reevaluating our solution just to make sure it's fitting with our audience. If it's not, let's go back to the drawing table and see what we can improve.
So now let's look at the financials a little bit. So the budget you gave us was $500,000. With some extra, there's some really good ideas in there. We think the experiential campaign is fitting up one of those really good ideas. The main cost really is going to be from the experiential campaigns. So what my colleague Sarah was mentioning with the aquarium and the glass floor at Motamba. And also, another big cost is really just TV ads, because generally those tend to be expensive. And the rest of the costs tend to be a little bit smaller. But overall, we think that we can fit this in a pretty good budget.
Donc, il y a différents risques, évidemment, et les mitigations des atténuations par rapport à ça. Et c'est notamment celui qu'on souligne le plus, c'est que les publicités bénéficient à l'industrie dans un tout, étant donné qu'on informe plus à travers des publicités excitantes. Mais on croit que la reconnaissance du logo va seulement grandir et ainsi on va pouvoir justement quand même se différencier, même si on va peut-être avoir une traction vers le haut de l'industrie dans un tout. Et ça va nous faire plaisir de discuter des autres risques durant la période de questions. Donc, en conclusion, si on se rappelle de notre mandat, développer des stratégies innovatives et excitantes pour différencier FEMPLAS d'un marché où la compétition est féroce et justement lui donner des attributs uniques à lui. Eh bien, je pense que c'est justement ce qu'on a fait en mettant un accent sur le développement durable avec la nature, avec une transformation numérique. C'est toutes des initiatives qui nous vont permettre à FEMPLAS d'être plus moderne, de se différencier et d'être le leader dans l'industrie pour les années à venir. Donc, au nom de mes collègues, nous vous remercions. Et si vous avez des questions, vous pouvez les poser dans la langue de votre choix et ça va nous faire plaisir d'y répondre.
fashion glass and the one that is very soundproof and so on. How are you planning on penetrating the condo market, considering that most condo buyers don't change their own windows?
Of course. So one of the biggest things when we looked at, especially condo buying, a lot of times when they're developing, they want to fit the aesthetic. Especially now in Montreal and in different other cities, they're trying to fit to the young urban person. So if they can get glass that Vogue says is amazing, they're gonna probably look for that type of glass. If people are looking for pools or different types of items like that, it's important to almost introduce it more into the condo when there's a lot of conventions into place, introducing it there and showing that our glass is not for 50 plus, but it's also for the young and the hip in that area.
I have a question about the TV placement and digital ads. What will you showcase on those ads?
Mais dans le fond, c'est un petit peu la même chose qu'on a dans nos publicités vidéo. C'est juste que c'est à travers une source qui est plus crédible que simplement la compagnie qui se promouvoit elle-même. Puis ça va être des émissions qui sont plus axées grand public, donc on parle.
Oui, merci. Mais ma question, c'est qu'est-ce que la publicité va être quoi? C'est une publicité télé, c'est quoi le concept? Y a-t-il un concept ou...
Ça va être à travers des émissions de design. Donc, par exemple, au Canal Vie, on va pouvoir montrer les fenêtres, justement, puis dépendamment des besoins de la personne qui va être là ce jour-là, démontrer un aspect, que ce soit la nature ou différents autres aspects.
So adding on to what my colleague said, we want to add the experience of doing commercials and digital ads that don't scream, we are a window company, but rather showing an experience. So a lot of times the commercials, especially the one you did with the rock concert, it was amazing because at the end it was, whoa, it's a window company? I did not expect that. Having that aspect in our commercials, digital ads, and having that emotion portrayed with our consumer audience, that's what we want to aim, and that's what we don't want to aim for another come by our windows, but more of the experience our windows give you.
So you will use your experience that you build into digital ads or TV ads if that goes there, but you will use those experiences.
Yes,
okay.
Of course.
Thank you.
So you said that Fenplas would be more for the rural market and Fenêtre La Jeunesse more for the urban market, but in terms of our current strategy, it's actually the opposite. So Fenplas is more in urban areas, and then Fenêtre La Jeunesse is in rural. So how do you see that changing?
So one of the things with La Jeunesse is we looked at there's a lot of cheaper prices. So a lot of times that tends to attract a younger audience, especially as soon as they see something cheaper, and with the university or college mentality, it's cheaper, it might help me out in the long run, or it might help me out for my starter home. So when we looked at that, we looked at a portrayal of what do they offer and what are their values. Their values seem to connect more with the younger adult audience in terms of their value, where they're located, the type of value chains that they currently have. So that's why we kind of flipped it a little bit, just to show you that it might be beneficial to maybe hit the younger adult audience. Again, it's just an idea, but we hope that you like it.
You said in the beginning that, je vais le dire en français, je m'excuse. Vous avez dit au début que c'est pas sexy, c'est pas le fun chercher des fenêtres et des portes sur Internet, mais dans vos KPI, c'était augmenter le trafic sur les sites web de 15%. Comment allez-vous y arriver?
So we're hoping that having these experiential marketing campaigns will drive people to want to go on the website and see what it's really about. Because like my colleague said, they're going to be wondering, that was a window website, right? So they're going to want to go on the website and see if it's really just a window website. And once you implement the VR stuff and having all these pricing charts, it's a lot more fun to see the website. They're not going to just see your products, the prices, and what you can do in store locations. They're going to see, oh, these guys are actually like really hip and modern. They have a whole VR experience within the website. It's super fun to actually interact with it. A lot of people that are buying actually may not have ever had interactions with a VR experience before.
Okay, so your strategy is to upload more content to have more visits. Okay.
Should we have one website or two with the VR experience?
So we were thinking that La Jeunesse should have its own website, and then Fenplas will have its own website, and it depends what you want to do with it, but you can put the VR on both. But we're thinking that with La Jeunesse, it'd be better to have the VR experience there first, because that'll have the widest variety of consumers going into it because of the cheaper prices and